Year 3 and welcome to today's maths video. Today's maths video is for Wednesday the 20th of January. So let's now move on to the learning for today. So for these we need to look really carefully at the scales. Now again they are both balanced, so we know that the amount of mass this side is equal to the amount of mass this side. For this one we have a 1 kilogram weight, so that tells us that the mass of the packet of sugar is 1 kilogram because it is the same. This side we're getting a little bit trickier because it's not just one weight, but the same thing stands. The mass of this side is the same as the mass of this side. This side we've got 1, 2, 3 kilogram weights, so that tells us that the total mass of this side is 3 kilograms. Because it's balanced, the mass of the bag of potatoes is also 3 kilograms. Let's have a look at finding the mass in kilograms of these items. Now these items are both on a set of scales with a needle pointing to the mass of the object. This scale goes up in 1, 2, 3, 4 kilograms with a half point measured for for half a kilogram, 1.5, 2.5, etc. Now if we look at our blown up scale, we can see the needle is pointing directly to the 1, so that means the mass of the packet of rice is 1 kilogram. If we look over here at our juice bottle, we can see that the needle has gone past the 1 kilogram mark and all the way to the 2 kilogram mark, and as it's pointing directly at the 2, that tells us that the mass of the bottle of juice is 2 kilograms. What about the grapes? Now if we look carefully at this, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The needle is pointing directly at the 3, so that tells us that the mass of the grapes is 3 kilograms. Looking at the cherries, now here we've got a slightly different scale, but we're still going up in kilograms. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kilograms for a whole loop of our scale. The needle is pointing directly at the 5, so that tells us that the mass of the cherries is 5 kilograms. Now this time we've got a part whole method because we need to work out the mass of our bottle of oil. Now we've got a set here of balancing scales. Now we know that that means that the mass of this side in total is the same of this mass in total, but our cooking oil is not 1, 2, 3 kilograms because we also have an extra kilogram weight this side. So we need to take the whole mass, 3 kilograms. We need to subtract our extra 1 kilogram, because if we were to take 1 kilogram off each side, they would still be balanced because we have removed the same amount from each. So if we start with 3 and we remove 1 kilogram, we are left with 2 kilograms. So that tells us the mass of the bottle of oil is 2 kilograms because the whole of each side was 3, but this side was made up with 1, 2, 3 kilogram weights. This side was made up of a 1 kilogram weight and the 1 bottle of cooking oil. So if we were to remove the 1 kilogram weight, we are left with the 2 kilogram bottle of cooking oil. Same applies for this side. So how would we work this out? Well, again, it's a set of balancing scales. That means that the total mass of this side is the same as the total mass of this side. In total, both sides are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilograms. I know this side is also 5 because they are balanced. Now here, as well as the pineapple, I've got 3 extra weights that are 1 kilogram each. If I remove them from this side, but also from this side too, my scale would remain balanced because the same amount has been removed from each side. So if I start with 5 and I subtract 3, I should be left with 2 kilogram weights, which would be the same as the pineapple. So the mass of the pineapple is 2 kilograms. Well done if you got those right. So now you move on to working through the work that is in your practice books. So for the first section, you have to put in more, less, as heavy as, and then parcel, cake and pear. So you need to say whether this is more, less or the same as a kilogram. Looking carefully at all the different representations of scale, and then here put in which item is the lightest and which item is the heaviest. This side, you need to look carefully at the scales. Now, I've literally labelled it as look carefully because your scale is not always the same. This scale here is slightly different to this scale here because you've even got it going up in 2. So you need to think really carefully about what some of those missing numbers would be. So for these ones, you read the scale really carefully and you mark the mass of each item. So I'm going to show you the answer pages quickly. So if you haven't had a go already, please stop and have a go. So I've been through the answers to these already. If you found it really tricky, go back and have a look, because look, I've shown you what I did on each side. So we know that the cake is as heavy as a kilogram because it's pointing directly at the 1 kilogram. We know that the pear is less than a kilogram because the heavier object, it's like a seesaw, remember, the heavier object tips to the bottom. So if we know that a 1 kilogram is heavier than the pear, then we know that the mass of the pear is less than a kilogram. If we look at the needle here, the needle is going past the 1. That means that the mass of the parcel is more than 1 kilogram. So which item is the lightest, the pear, and which item is the heaviest, the parcel? Our flour had a mass of 2 kilograms because it was pointing at the 2. The missing number here was 7 because it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 kilograms. Our watermelon, the needle is pointing directly at the 4, so that's 4 kilograms. And our bag of rice, the needle is pointing directly at the 8, so that is 8 kilograms. Well done if you got that right. Remember, if you whizzed through that and found it really easy, then please keep just measuring and weighing items at home. Maybe pick 3 or 4 or 5 things to weigh, measure them, say whether they are greater than or less than or equal to a kilogram, and then maybe have a go at ordering them from smallest to largest or lightest to heaviest. But please just keep practicing, keep feeling those weights and seeing what a kilogram feels like, and then measuring against other items which are also a kilogram. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.